Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hockey fans of all ages. Thank you for joining us on the Scabbard. So the Sabres have returned home. They are back home from a perfect California road trip. Not perfect. I mean, there are some things that they definitely need to work on this as they move into the latter half or latter week of November. But the Sabres are fourth in the Atlantic Division now. They are above the Boston Bruins, even though they're tied on points, but have played two less games than the Bruins. Only 1 point behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. So from an actual full playoff position, rather than we're relying on a wild card. They're only 5 points behind the Toronto Maple Leafs, even on games. But a bad week can send them right back down the charts because at 17 points, the Montreal Canadiens are last place in the Atlantic Division. So Sabres need to keep grinding. The next 7 of 8 games for the Sabres are at home, so they need to get better at home and continue to do the right things that get them points in the standing. So again, they take 6 out of 6 points on the California road trip, a couple overtime games, and holding off the San Jose Sharks on the final game. So yeah, Sabres struggled early. The Sharks were able to get on the board first. The Sabres did rally. Peyton Krebs, Dylan Cousins did score in the first 2 periods to even the game at 2. The score is even at 2 early in the third period. Then penalty by the San Jose Sharks, and Alex Tuck skates it in and scores another shorthanded goal. I think that's his third of the season. So we should start calling him Shout Hey. But yeah, Alex Tuck gets the game-winning goal on a shorthander. James Reimer stops 31 of 33 shots, and then a uh, uh, ice burner by Rasmus Dahlin sneaks it in the last second to give the Sabres a 4-2 victory to wrap up the West Coast road trip. The full road trip, including the Philadelphia game, the Sabres were 3-1 on, which is, what you want to see on a road trip. 3-1 is a good number to see on the road trip. If they'd taken that Philadelphia game seriously, I mean, that would have been 8 standings points. But it looks like they've made it through the Tage Thompson injury. He's coming back tonight to play with getting quite a few points. They didn't let the Tage Thompson injury lead to a prolonged losing streak. So, yeah, good to see the Sabres back in town tonight. They play the Minnesota Wild. The Wild are 13-4-4 in the season. They are doing phenomenal, and they, almost any other division they'd be leading, but they're the second in the in the Central Division, behind the Winnipeg Jets, who are just flying, for lack of a better term. Kirill Kaprizov leads the team with 34 points, 13 goals, 21 assists. Off to a phenomenal start this year. He's been injured, but he's listed, according to NHL.com, as being in the lineup tonight. So we'll see how that handles them. The Wild are actually coming in off of 2 straight losses, one including the Minnesota Wild or the Winnipeg Jets the last time out. So hopefully we can prolong the struggles for the Minnesota Wild as they try and find their game after a really, really hot start on the season. Oh, and Philip Gustafsson is really playing well, and that's who we'll be seeing tonight. Leads the team with 2.18 goals against average, .923 save percentage, and 9 victories. Of course, the backup is Marc-Andre Fleury, who's torched the Sabres throughout his career. So maybe a benefit that we get Philip Gustafsson tonight, but Gustafsson's played really well this season. So I don't know that it really matters who we get in this game. It's going to be a struggle to score some goals. 3 keys to the game. We got to match and exceed the energy of the Minnesota Wild. A team that's come in with 2 straight losses really hasn't experienced that level of struggle throughout the season. So, it's natural for them to, they're going to have to bring up their game, and the Sabres need to, coming off of a long road trip and a long flight back to the East Coast. They've had a few days off since Saturday night's game. So hopefully they're rested and ready. Their clocks are reacclimated to the East Coast time, but getting started, matching and exceeding those that energy. Again, consistent effort. They have struggled to play a complete game. There's only been a couple times where I thought that they've gotten close to a complete game. That Rangers game, I think, was probably their most complete effort. But against the stronger teams this season, the Sabres have played a lot better. So again, they've played to the level of their competition. I think the only time they really haven't played to the level of their competition was when Florida came in for the second game and really handled the Sabres in that game. So, and then finally, control the first line. The first line, you got Kaprizov and Matt Boldy on that. That accounts for a majority of the points that the Minnesota Wild score. So if you can control them, you got a good chance of skating away with 2 points. All right, the Minnesota Wild forwards, Kirill Kaprizov, Joel Eriksson Ek, and Matt Boldy on the first line. Marcus Johansson, former Sabre Alert, with Marco Rossi and Ryan Hartman. On the second line, another former Sabre Alert, Marcus Foligno, with Frederick Gaudreau and Yakov Trenin, former Nashville Predator, with Travis Boyd, Ben Jones, and Devin Shore on the fourth line. D pairs for the Minnesota Wild are Jake Middleton with Brock Faber, young phenom defenseman, Jonas Brodin with Jared Spurgeon, Declan Christholm with former Sabre Alert Zach Bogosian. As mentioned before, the goaltender tonight is going to be Philip Gustafsson with Marc-Andre Fleury backing up. This is, of course, is according to NHL.com's projected lines for this evening. Scratches and injuries for the Wild. We've got John Merrill as scratched, with Jacob Lauko, who might play. He's got a kind of a day-to-day injury. That'll be a coach's decision. Matt Zuccarello, lower body, and Marat. Oh wow, Kusnut Kusnutdinov. Kusnutdinov. Yeah, that works. Lower body injury for him. He is out of the lineup as well. Sabres forwards tonight. Paterka. Actually, I didn't add the lines for NHL.com. Let me bring that back up because we've got Tage Thompson coming back into the lineup tonight. So, oh, that's the Canadian roster. All right, Sabres lines tonight. Paterka, Thompson, and Tuck on the first line. Zach Benson on the second line. Dylan Cousins with Peyton Krebs on the second line there. Jason Zucker, Uri Kulik, and Jack Quinn on the third line with Beck Malenstein, Ryan McLeod, and Sam Lafferty on the fourth line. Sabres defensemen are normal complement, I think. Yeah, we've got Rasmus Dahlin with Bowen Byram, Owen Power with Henry Jokiharju, Jacob Bryson with Connor Clifton, and starting as normal, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen coming in to start tonight's game with James Reimer, who played really phenomenally. I was excited to watch his game on Saturday. I thought he played really well. The Sharks were buzzing. They tested him pretty good. And that one save he made on Macklin Celebrini, where he caught the puck with his glove and it hit off of his head, and then he had to almost Hasek like swinging his glove around to catch it and stop the play. Celebrini, I was stunned with that stop, but James Reimer played really well. That's what you want to see. That gives the Sabres confidence to keep Devin Levi down in Rochester and let him develop and bring his game up to a pro level. Scratches are Nicholas Obey-Cabell with Dennis Gilbert. Injured Jordan Greenway, who apparently had a procedure. I don't know what the time frame is on his return, but it sounds like he'll be out for a little bit. Middle body, so I'm assuming it's some kind of core injury. And then Matthias Samuelsson still out with the lower body injury. He'll be out for a few more weeks. So, yeah, that's the lineups for tonight. And let's see, the week ahead. Friday, we got Vancouver coming in. It's an early start, 3:00, so we'll have an early show for that day. Saturday is our lone home game lone road game for the next 8 games at the Islanders. So it's not even a huge travel to do that game. So they're going to the Island, take on the Islanders. And then Tuesday, Colorado comes into town, first of a 6-game homestand for the Sabres. Hopefully, they can start stacking points for that. So our next episode is going to be Friday night at 2 p.m. or Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern. So join us then for the next episode of The Scabbard. And other than that, thank you all for joining us tonight, and we will talk to you all on Friday. Let's go Buffalo.